Welcome to multiple choice question 12 of the 2008 Mathematical Methods Exam 2. In this video we will be looking at the solution for this question. A reminder that this video is in no way endorsed by VCAA. And now before we move on, I just want to point out that the use of a CAS calculator is by far the most efficient way of answering this sort of problem. So for question 12 we have let f be the function with a domain of all real numbers where the function's rule is f of x equals e to the power of x plus e to the power of negative x. And it asks for all u is an element of the real number system, f of 2u is equal to one of the following options. And this is where the CAS calculator can be really efficient in answering this problem. On the CAS calculator, go into the main menu. Next we want to type in the function f because it applies for the rest of this question. So I want to go keyboard e to the power of x, and then we have plus e to the power of negative x. And then to define that, I'm going to go interactive define as f of x and hit OK. And now we want to use the judge command on the calculator. So clicking the down arrow and going into catalog and then across to J, we can find the judge command and we can press input. And we want to judge what f of 2u is equal to. But on the calculator, I'm just going to use f of 2x. We'll get away with doing that. So dragging down f, we can replace this with 2x. And the first one we want to judge is whether that is equal to just f of x plus f of negative x. And then hitting execute, it will tell us that this is undefined. So that means it's not true. Next, we can change this line, or actually I might just drag it down so you can see that it is changing each time. And we can judge if f of 2x is equal to the second option B, which is just 2 times f of x. Hitting execute, it says undefined again, so that's unlikely to be the correct answer. So I'm going to drag down that line and we're going to judge whether f of 2x is equal to. And then the third option is f of u all squared minus 2. So in the calculator, I want to put a set of brackets around f of x squared. And then we subtract 2 off that and hit execute, and it says true. So that means that we know that C is correct for this. If I quickly just drag down that line and show you what D would give, we just need f of 2u equals f of u squared. So using x, we've now got that incorrect. Hitting execute, it says false. And then if I drag that line down and put a plus 2 at the end of it to test E, you'll see that that's false as well. So from the output on the CAS calculator, we could see the third statement that we judged was indeed correct or true. So that means that C is the correct answer for this question. Now, I will also show you how to confirm this by hand, although I still highly recommend using the calculator for this question in a Tech Active exam. If you did need to show this by hand though, we could start with the left-hand side, so to speak, which is f of 2u. And substituting that into the rule, we just get that that is equal to e to the power of 2u plus e to the power of negative 2u. And all we've done is we've replaced x in the rule f of x with 2u. Then the right-hand side, so to speak, is going to be f of u, and then we square it, minus 2. And now f of u all squared is just e to the power of u plus e to the power of negative u multiplied by itself, or squared, minus 2. And I'm going to use a grid to expand that. So we're going to have e to the power of u, and then an e to the power of negative u, and then the same down the side here, which is going to be e to the u and e to the negative u. So e to the u times e to the u is e to the power of 2u. Then e to the u times e to the negative u. When we have the same base, we add the powers. So we actually end up with e to the power of 0 there. The same thing will happen in this bottom left box, because e to the u times e to the negative u will again give e to the power of 0. And then this will give e to the power of negative 2u for the bottom right one when you multiply e to the negative u times e to the negative u. Now the other thing to remember here is that anything to the power of 0 is 1. So those two boxes are actually just 1. So this is equal to e to the 2u plus 1 is plus 2 plus e to the negative 2u minus 2. And then we can see the plus 2 and the minus 2 cancel. So that's just e to the 2u plus e to the negative 2u, which is what f of 2u was. So we've now shown that the left-hand side and the right-hand sides are equal. So that's how we could show by hand that C is correct. Again, I just want to be really clear in pointing out that the CAS calculator is the best way to approach that question, particularly on a multiple choice section of the exam. From the examiner's report, we can see that once again, this type of problem proved challenging for students, with less than 50% getting it correct. In fact, only 44% of students got it correct on this exam.